What's up, everybody? Hello, Friday. Long time no see. How you guys doing? I hope you guys all having a great week. Heading into the weekend, the big weekend coming up. We'll talk a little bit about that in a little while. I wasn't gonna do a show tonight. I was gonna just rest and relax. But uh, I shared with Patsy that you guys uh, sent me a ton of prayers, plenty posts, plenty private messages. And I just wanted to do the show for come on and say mahalo to all of you, to the village. This village that was created kind of by accident. And we always talk about being family and ohana, and it takes a village and all these cliche-ish words and phrases. But this village has come together so many times for so many people over the last 2.5, going on 3 years. This is an amazing thing we have here in this village. So rather than put up a post and try to answer everybody's messages and everybody's posts, I just wanted to come on tonight and say mahalo from the bottom of my heart. You guys help so many of other us and villagers get through rough times, regardless of what it is. And even if it's this 1 hour or so a show where we can feel like we're part of this village and this ohana, it just made me feel really, really good. So thank you. I would be remiss if I didn't say mahalo to the Wilcox hospital emergency room staff. Unfortunately, I had to go over there on Monday. Should have went on Saturday. I thought I could rough it. I actually thought I had COVID. Tested negative. Sunday, I felt even worse, but it fit the symptoms of what everyone else that got COVID had, except the congestion and the coughing and the sneezing. But the fever, the headache, and the body ache, nuts. Like, so I tested again, negative. But I knew people kept telling me, Mel, you got to keep on testing 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. So I was pretty much convinced that I had gotten COVID. And when Monday rolled around, I won't say unbearable, but it was pretty damn uncomfortable. And I called my urologist on Oahu because I had an appointment to go visit him on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, to remove this stent that's been in me for over 3 weeks. And I called him up to let him know what was going on, and that obviously I wasn't going to be able to make it on Tuesday. And he told me to go to ER right away. So we did, and I'm glad he did. He told me that because my temperature was at about 103. The chills, the body aches, and the headache was just crazy. So as soon as I got to ER, I mean, from check-in, we got there. Patsy, of course, took me, and the lobby was pretty much empty. Thank God they took me in, got me settled in, and immediately hooked me up, obviously, to all the machines and IV uh, and I think I can't remember what the doc. I meant to write all these people's names down and I forgot what my doctor's name was. But anyway, he came in and checked me out and did a CAT scan and uh, decided that they were going to keep me in overnight and run some heavy duty antibiotics, which they did. And so I stayed over Monday night. They put me up in the hospital, and I got to tell you guys, the ER staff, doctors, nurses, CAT scan operator was amazing. Local guy, young. I mean, my God, I look at him thinking, how he even got licensed to do this, and but he was so nice. Everyone made sure that I was comfortable. And then and when I got up to the hospital third floor, I had to wait a while for a bed, but I was blessed because the person next to me in the ER, he never got a bed. And in fact, they told him that he was going to be staying in ER overnight because they had no discharges going out. So I was blessed to at least get a hospital bed, hospital room. But from the moment I got into the hospital, and from every single person that came to check on me or treat me or take my blood or whatever had to be done, just class A. I mean, amazing. amazing. So I just wanted to really make sure we thank Wilcox ER, Wilcox Hospital, all of their staffs, even the housekeepers when they come in the room. They do not want to bother you. Uh, but I just wanted to say that it was nobody wants to be in in the hospital, but I've been in the hospitals at Queens and ER at the Wilcox, and I got to tell you, man, comparable. They're just I cannot say anything bad about it. Even the food, my steak was a little. I did get steak, was a little tough, but aside from that, I got to say, if I had to give them a report card grade, it'd be an A+. So much malos and understanding that they're short staffed. They are short staffed, and they're still able to go out there and make patients feel good in a bad time. So yeah, I just wanted to say, mahalo to Wilcox and the entire staff. Every one of them. And then again to the village guys, you guys make it so much more bearable. Uh, I try to sleep as much as I could, but it's tough. But whenever I check my phone, there was always positive vibes, prayers. I'm a man of faith. You guys know that. I'm not ashamed to say it, and I believe that because it, based on what they had found, it could have gotten really bad. It's basically an infection that they were concerned may have gotten into the blood, maybe some sepsis, but never was. All the cultures came back negative, and I believe in the power of prayer, and I honestly believe that if not for this village, uh, if not for this village putting together that prayer, and we've seen it work so many times in the last 2.5 years. So thank you all. I love you guys. I love you guys. All right. So I wanted to get that out of the way. I did want to talk a little bit about COVID because it's still rampant. We had another death on Kauai last week. The numbers are still, it's not going down. Hospitalizations and deaths, the deaths are still at, I believe it was at 14. I can't remember. I think it was 14. And and then we get the CDC coming and basically lifting all restrictions on. No social distancing, no masking, no quarantining, nothing. It's just wide open. And guys, I talked to a lot of people in the hospital that deal with this stuff, and you don't. No one wants to get this. You don't want to get COVID. And the more opportunities we allow exposures to happen, the more opportunities this virus has to spread and to mutate. So I think quite irresponsible for the CDC, and even more irresponsible for our state to jump on the bandwagon. They and basically follow suit. I think this. We've been saying this for a while now, and it is what it is, right? But now we gotta really. Thank you, Gladys. Yeah, I'm still. I'm not at 100%. I feel probably about 70%. I'm kind of weakened yet, but at least there's no pain, there's no fever. So I'm on some heavy duty antibiotics for 2 weeks. 12 days. So yeah, I mean it's going to take its time, but definitely much better today than I was of several days ago. That's for sure. But anyway, yeah. So we cannot underestimate this virus. I mean, and yet wherever you turn, it's the messages are clear, right? That it's okay. You guys can enjoy yourself, enjoy your lives. But we highly recommend you wear a mask if you're somewhere, or we highly recommend you getting vaccinated and boosted. And I mean, that message has never changed. But incredible. I think what we're going to see in the next few weeks. We'll try to get Dr. Brown and Altenberg on hopefully next week to get their insights. But I guess for my message really is that we got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of our own. We got to take care of our loved ones. We got to take care of our families. And how we do that is not taking risky or doing risky behaviors, not going in crowded areas without wearing your mask, not, guys, you know what I'm trying to say. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here, but I think it's important that we continue to share the message, because it's this is not the time to drop your guard. I know a lot of freedom fighters are all happy and excited, and felt this should have been done years ago, but the numbers no lie, and people are still dying. And again, what's the level? What's the acceptable level of death? Is 14 a week okay? Well, it must be, right? It must be, because they're reducing restrictions, or I shouldn't say reducing, they're removing restrictions uh, at a time when our deaths are still at about 2 a day. So that tells me that in our State Department of Health and our governor's office, that that is acceptable. Because if it wasn't, then we would be taking precautionary measures or safety measures to keep that or drop that number lower. But they're not. In fact, their actions are going to create more cases, more illness, and more death. So maybe we're not at the acceptable level. Maybe their acceptable level of death is much higher. Maybe 14 is below their acceptable level. That's how I would assess it, because you know the action speaks louder than words. You can put all the commercials you want about getting vaccinated and boosted, but if you're not creating safe environments for our people, especially our kids in school, who come home to grandma and grandpa, auntie, uncle, mom, and dad, then maybe you're not uh, walking the walk. Yeah, you're talking the talk, but you're not walking the walk. So anyway, um, thank you, Tiana. A lot of people wishing me luck. I have consciously kept my campaign off of these shows. Every so often, if someone brings it up, I may comment, but I didn't want to use this specific platform, to campaign, because I think the information that we try to share um, is non-political. We have been bringing on some political candidates because we believe that, and we put it out there for anyone who wanted to come on. We believe that the villagers should have information so they could make good decisions. And so, we did veer off a little bit into the political arena, but I didn't want to really campaign for myself using this platform. But I did want to talk about elections tonight, because tomorrow is the primary elections, and tomorrow a lot of major elections are going to be determined. Right, the state elections, all of the governor, the lieutenant governor, the Congress, and many House and Senate seats in the legislature. It'll be tomorrow is basically the party election, right? So one Democrat will come out, one Republican, one independent, one whatever other parties there may be. On the local level, the mayors and the council races, it's a nonpartisan race, so it's not a party race. So it's for Kauai, we have 7 seats on the council. So after tomorrow, the top 14 will move to the general. But what I have found in the last few days talking to people, mostly via email, many people still haven't voted. In fact, many people are not registered to vote. And a lot of people are just not planning to vote. But I think if you have been watching this show, and if you have been paying attention to what's been going on, we need to vote. We need to make sure, and I've preached this on several shows, where especially you guys in Oahu, where you have districts and you guys have several options of candidates for different districts, that you do your due diligence, and most importantly, you vote. Once every 2 years, there's an election, and that's one time. Well, 2 times you get the primary and the general, but this very small opportunity, very simple to do, that actually can dictate our future. Many decisions that are going to be made in the next 2 years and the next 4 years are going to affect our kids and grandkids. and generations to follow. And that is why it's so important that we all vote. And of course, I want you to vote for me. But even if you don't, you need to vote. We got a governor's race that's highly contested. And I don't know if you've been following the news, but scroll up to the top of the comments and find Lauren Rousseau's post. You just go check it out. There's a link. Go check it out. There's a lot of issues going on with the governor's race right now. It's important that we learn about our candidates and that we vote accordingly. Lieutenant governor, same thing. A lot of these negative ads floating all around. Well, you got to do independent due diligence to make sure that that you find the right candidate that thinks like you and that you can support. My point is that we have until tomorrow night, 7 p.m. You can't mail in ballots already. That's done. That ship has sailed. So the only way is, if you don't have a ballot, if you never got a ballot, then you got to go down to your voter service centers. Every island has them. Kauai, we only have one. It's in Lihue at the elections office next to the historic county building in the basement. You'll see the signs. So if you don't have a ballot and you should have had a ballot, then make sure you go to the voter service centers. They open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow. And go make sure you get your ballot and make sure you vote. If you have your ballot sitting on your kitchen table right now and you're putting it off, I spoke to one of the nurses that said her ballot was at home and she needed to mail it. I said, well, you can't mail it. It's too late. You need to take it to the service center, and there's a drop box right outside of the building. You just drop it in the box. That'll be picked up tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So you have until 7 p.m. to make a difference and to have a voice. But she named people on the ballot that is not even running on the local races. So I know she didn't even look at the ballot. So let me just try to break this down. Number one, if you have your ballot at home right now, please vote tonight or tomorrow. Put it in that envelope and drop it to your nearest voter service center. Now in Oahu, they're all over the place. Every island has different locations. Kauai, like I said, we only have one in Lihue. Get that in the drop box before 7 o'clock tomorrow night. If you don't have a ballot and you should have had a ballot, then go to the voter service center tomorrow morning on your island and between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. and go let them know so they can give you a duplicate ballot. Now, your first ballot will be disqualified. That number will be erased from the computer. So you won't be double counted or somebody else cannot vote for you. And that is what I worry about, right? People steal these ballots from mailboxes and then they fill it out and they turn it in. And if the signature gets passed, then somebody votes for you. So by going to the voter service center, you will be able to make sure that anyone that may have voted on your original ballot gets disqualified. Now, if you're not registered, if you haven't voted in the last election, you're not registered to vote, you can go to the voter service center tomorrow on your island between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. and you can register tomorrow and go straight to the box and vote. This is amazing. This is amazing. We never could do that before. If you missed it, you missed it. So now, thanks, Tyson. Yeah, man, the antibiotics kicking in. So you can go to the voter service center tomorrow and you can register if you have kids that aren't registered. If you know of anyone that isn't registered, make sure you get them to the voter service center tomorrow and they can register and vote all at the same time. I tell you, people, this is a critical election for our state. It is. And I think it's important that you learn about the candidates. You still get time. Go to Civil Beat, the website. They have questionnaires on all the candidates. Check it out. Google the different candidates. Again, Lauren Rousseau's post on the top of this show has a link on there, and go check it out. It's quite revealing and it's important. Um, Hang on. Yeah, you can tell by my voice. I still not there yet, but getting better, getting better. So please, folks, do it for not only our island but our state. Uh, we got to get a good turnout. We got to make sure we pick leaders that has our best interests at heart. Um, I really am tired of the mainland telling us how to run our government. I really am tired about corporations telling us how to run our state. I cannot imagine why people, all these corporate money is flying in, the black money, the dark money, these super PACs that are dropping millions of dollars in our local races here in Hawaii. Um, yeah, we can fix that by voting, because after tomorrow, it's too late, folks. It's too late. So anyway, I just wanted to put that public service announcement out there for all of you. Um, and then I am gonna put a little plug in there for me, because this last few months I have been, I have all these challenges. This damn kidney stone has kept me out for a little bit, and with everything else going on in life. So I haven't really campaigned as much as I wanted to. This week is the week before the primaries, are traditionally the busy week. That's the week we're out there sign holding. And we'd scheduled the sign holdings, and then I end up in a hospital. And you know how frustrating it is, thinking, man, I should be out there. I should be on the street. I should be on the road. I should be out and about. and and I couldn't even do a show from the hospital. So I mean, it was tough, and so I wanted to make sure that I at least have this last chance to share with all of you that we really need your support here on Kauai. For those of you on Kauai, uh, you know, I have a 40th class reunion tonight. Is the pre event night, and tomorrow night is the big night. Now, I got to make sure I'm well, and I cannot attend those things because I want to make sure I am strong enough to do what I need to do. But it's frustrating when you're trying to run a campaign and you're trying to do what you need to do to get the word out. And so, if you guys haven't voted yet, and I would humbly ask you folks to pull out that ballot and go down the list. You know, we're nonpartisan, so our race shows up on whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. It doesn't matter. We're nonpartisan, so we can get votes from both parties. But please go down. I'm pretty much low on the ballot because my last name. We got a lot of. They go alphabetically, so I think I'm fourth from the bottom. So I hope people don't start on the top and start voting and run out of votes when they get to Raposo. So start from the bottom up. When you look at the council ballot, start from the bottom or go straight to the R's, and you see me. You give me a little colored in box. Um, Portuguese call that kubrant. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if somebody had gave me kubrant, or I was just burning the candle on both ends. But so yeah, you could definitely use your support. I my philosophy, you know, as far as politics is concerned, and I told you guys it's not going to be a long show. We're not going to go the whole hour, but I did want to get some of these important points in. My philosophy is, if elected officials, right, people run for office to be the representatives and the voice of the people that they represent, right? That's how this democracy is set up. So, regardless if you're running for president, Congress, governor, mayor, county council, whatever. And when I hear all these commercials, when I hear all the commercials, I hear candidates telling you what they have done. I did this. I did that. I will do this. I will do that. Listen, no one politician, I don't care if you are the governor of the state, can do anything alone. No council member can do anything alone. I've gotten a lot of credit for things over my career, which it's not me. It was the body. It was the entire body. You need enough votes to get things passed. You need the public to pretty much agree. But when I hear these candidates talking about I did this, I did that. Number one, that's not true because not no one person can do it by themselves. Uh, Number two, that tells me that you're not a team player, right? You should give credit where credit is due, and not try, you know, kapoo all the credit so people will vote for you. But this is my point in all of this. I don't care what office you are seeking. I don't care what office you're elected to. This is what is important. Number one is transparency. You gotta be transparent with the people that you represent. And the only way you can be transparent is by being in constant communication with them, letting them know that what is happening. I'm going to ask you this: the legislature. I want to know this, answer this question. How many of you know what your legislators, representatives, or senators do throughout the year or during the session? How many of them actually communicate with you throughout the session so that you can chime in on issues that they are going to be voting on? If you are one of the lucky few, yeah, raise your hand, say yes. But if you are like most of us, no, you don't hear from your representatives or senators until they cut a press release that they already did something, or their quarterly postcard newsletter, whatever that the taxpayers pay to send out to tell you all the good things that they're doing. But how many of them stay in communication with you during the deliberation, during the process, so you can chime in? Seriously, if that's happening in your district, get them back in. But if it's not happening, then you might want to look somewhere else. See, transparency in government is key. I don't care what side of the issue you on. I don't care if we disagree, but the transparency is critical. So I don't care, again, what level of office. I don't care what you're a Democrat, a Republican, independent, green, doesn't matter. The second thing is community engagement, is giving the public an opportunity to chime in. How can you sit in your chambers, whether it's a council chambers or at the legislature, and vote if you don't know how your constituents feel? See, politicians aren't smarter than their constituents. Please do not ever believe that. See, in the legislative body, and I'll be straight up honest, our staff at the county council make the council members look very intelligent, but they do all the heavy lifting. They do all the research. They do all the due diligence, and they provide it to the council member who goes up and puts it on the floor. So don't think for a second that the elected official is smarter than you. No, no. Elected official is there because he or she made the decision to speak for the constituents. So you got to have transparency, and you got to have that community engagement. And you cannot have one without the other, because if the community don't know what the heck is going on because there's no transparency, then you have no engagement. And if you don't have transparency by telling the public what's going on, then you won't have any engagement. That's the two things. And anyone can do that, right? It's just keeping the people apprised of what's going on. It means no backdoor deals. It means no doing business behind closed doors. It means having all the discussions on the floor, in the public. See, if that happened at all levels of government, number one, the public would be informed. Number two, they would be able to chime in. And our legislators and council members and all of these people that are making decisions going to know, and they'll have no excuse to say, well, I didn't know that's how they felt. No, you see, right now, you know whose ear who has their ear, it's all the corporate people, all the lobbyists, all the business people. They are building our state the way our corporate uh, businesses and lobbyists want them to build, because they are the only ones that are being heard. But imagine if the issue came out and they made it very convenient for everyone to testify. Imagine if you were able to attend public hearings that were in your area. The nice thing about Zoom, I mean about COVID now, is they're allowing online or online testimony, Zoom testimony, and so forth. So that's a huge benefit that needs to continue, forever. But that is the key, folks. I don't care what you tell me you're going to do. I don't care you tell me what you think you did. What I care about is that you're going to keep me informed as your constituent, and then you're going to ask me how I feel before you vote. That's what makes an effective leader. But that's not happening. George, you hit it on the head. I was just going to get to the Sunshine Law. See, the Sunshine Law in county government is required. It's the law. Everything has to happen on the floor in the public with proper notice, 1 week notice. The legislature is exempt from that. So a lot of their decisions, a lot of their discussions, a vast majority of them are done all privately. You would never know until it's done, until you see it on the news and you wonder, how did that happen? Well, it happened because the meetings weren't with you. The meetings were with the lobbyists, with the money people, the special interests. And that's who they strive to satisfy. And that needs to stop. And I don't have to break down these elections piece by piece, but I think the governor's race is very clear that there's a chance that we will lose this government, our state leadership, to corporate mainland money. So please be smart, folks. Please be smart. Please forget about the name recognitions. Forget about these nice commercials about how wonderful these people are. Do your homework. Do your homework. See, I don't know what goes on in the other islands in the different districts from the legislature, but you guys need to understand, if you're not in constant contact by some form of communication, then that person isn't representing you. No, they're treating it as a job, and the only people getting appointments with them are the special interests. Now, I know a lot of people, and a lot of the House and Senate people actually watch this show, and they can dispute this all they want. And again, maybe some of them have a very good relationship with their constituents. Maybe some of them have town hall meetings, community meetings regularly. I don't know. I cannot speak for the outer islands. But as a constituent, in the last 2 years, how many times were you consulted by a decision maker on how you felt? How many of them asked you, this is what we're working on, how do you feel? I guarantee that very few of you got the call or got the memo. I just know how these things work. Been in this game a long time. So that's the key, folks. Transparency and the community engagement. And then, of course, the accountability. I mean, you got to have the accountability. You cannot not be graded on your performance. You cannot, we as voters cannot just take what they give us as no choice. Well, no, you have a choice, and that choice is tomorrow, no later than 7 p.m. Maybe we should have had this show earlier, but I just it dawned on me today that tomorrow's D-Day really for a lot of races, and the state could be in a downturn or whatever, in some of these bigger races. So I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. That's kind of all I wanted to talk about tonight. I think it was, for me, it was important that we cover the COVID numbers and to let you all know that it's not over. I don't care what the state says. I don't care what any of our leaders tell me. I think yeah, okay, Scotty. Scotty said people have had to go back to work. Most people now are forced to mingle with others, COVID or no COVID. Why do so many government agencies and their employees think they can use COVID as an excuse to set up a firewall? Bingo! I think, Scotty, you hit it on the head, buddy. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Are you satisfied with? Let's just say, are you better off today than you were 2 years ago, 4 years ago? That should tell you if you should vote like you did 2 years ago, 4 years ago. I mean, that's, to me, it's just as simple. Anyway, thanks for that, Scotty. Good point. So yeah, so I guess as far as COVID goes, just be safe, folks. Again, we have become a family here. We become this village. We love each other. We care for each other, and we do not want to see anybody go down with. We've lost a few. We've lost a few from this village, and we don't need that. So please take this stuff seriously, and share what you know with others. And of course, the other thing again is I just wanted to say mahalo to all of you. You guys we have put out the call for help over the last 2.5 years several times, whether it was masks for kids, whether it was T-shirts for Hawaii Community Foundation, whether it was prayers for families or villagers or people. My stepmom, my dad, still appreciate you guys so much. We've come together so many times in the last 2.5 years. I honestly feel like I know each and every one of you personally, and I mean it when I say it. I love you guys, each and every one of you, whether we agree or disagree on issues. You guys are like family, and I got you guys back, and you guys have always had mine. So I just wanted to say thank you. When I needed you guys last week, you guys were there, and I will tell you, you guys are the reason why I am here tonight and not still in that doggone hospital. All right, I believe that with all my heart. So I told you guys it wasn't going to go long. I get some rest. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. If any people running for office are watching, or will be watching on the after the live, good luck on you guys' races, guys. And just listen, man. If you get elected, just do what you say and say what you do. Right? That's all I got to say. It's not a job, right? It's community service. It's community service. It's being the voice of the people, not special interests. All right, folks. So I'm going to let you guys go tonight. Apologize for the short show. We'll be back next week with a full week. Monday will be fun. We'll talk about the election results. And Wednesday, we'll try to get the doctors back on to talk about the new policies. All right, folks. We love you guys. Take care. God bless. Most of all, stay safe. I'll probably pop up with a live tomorrow after the results come in. We'll see how I feel. All right, you guys take care. God bless. See you.